In recent years, the electrification of the British rail network has gathered pace. This is in part due to the demand for environmentally friendly passenger transport as the UK government moves towards its target of net zero by 2050. This will mean the replacement of diesel traction on British rail with greener, cleaner and more efficient locomotives and multiple units. Another benefit of electrification is, in theory, the reduction of journey times, as the acceleration of electric traction is far superior to that of its diesel counterparts. However, this all costs money, a lot of money, so BR have been staggering the electrification of the network over many decades. Going back to the modernisation plan of 1955, the aim was to have the overhead wires on intercity routes across Britain, but due to cost and lack of funding from the government of the day, this was scaled back. One route to go under the wires was the West Coast Main Line from London to Glasgow. However, even this took several years to complete. Electrification of the East Coast Main Line across the border into Scotland was also completed in the early 1990s. This allowed the introduction of the Class 91 225 sets. Since then, we've seen upgrades and expansion of the wires across the network, with many different types, layouts and mast configurations being used to navigate the complex Victorian-based network. So what's all this got to do with model railways, you might ask? Well, until recently, electric locomotives haven't really been taken too seriously by the model manufacturers. But now we've started to see an explosion of new AC electric models come onto the market. This wave of new AC locos started back in 2015, when Bachmann released its highly acclaimed Class 85. Things then went a bit quiet until Hornby gave us the new 87, followed by Bachmann's Class 90 and Helgen's all-new Class 86. The long-awaited, highly detailed Class 91 then landed from Hornby, with the Hughes scale getting on in the act with their award-winning Class 92 with twin working pantographs. We also have more AC locos in the works from several other companies, opening up a whole new load of possibilities for the railway modeller. These aforementioned models proved popular, but modellers were left in a bit of a quandary, as commercially available overhead masts and wires were limited. We've had the DAPO Mark III masts with hook-on-wire system, which promised so much but never really carried through to include more styles of mast. Pico then came along with its superb but expensive metal mast and wire system, which was recently installed to parts of Dean Park. These look stunning and due to their metal construction are robust, while remaining fine and authentic. There are also brass portals from N-Brass locos, and scale model scenery had a limited range of laser cut masts. Of course, if you have the will and the skill, you could build your own, which I did at the East End on the main line at Dean Park. However, no one had really taken the bull by the horns and produced a full range of ready-to-plant, highly detailed masts, registration arms and line-side details. Until now, that is. I'm privileged to announce that the first type of masts and equipment are now on sale from West Hill Wagon Works, with more being released in the coming weeks and months to cater for all main areas of the British rail network. These are easy to fit, super detailed and robust 3D printed models, which also feature a system that allows easy fitting of overhead wires should you wish to go down that route. These items are available to purchase right now by clicking on the link in the description below. So, what have I got to show you just now? Well, let's take a closer look. In the first release from West Hill, we've got the Series 1 and Series 2 overhead equipment. Now, this is the Series 1, and here we've got the monoboom portal, and this is an excellent kit. It went together in about 10 minutes. Everything fits just where it should do. I've fitted one of the extensions which slot together. It's kind of a little hole that meets a square stud, and it all links together superbly well. A touch of super glue and the job's done. We've also got the cantilever arms, and you'll notice there's two different heights here. This particular one is slightly higher, that's for your line side, and this one here is for fitting on top of a platform when your wiring goes through a station. There's different arm lengths as well to cater for all your needs, 95mm arms, 115mm arms and so forth. Depending on your track configuration, you may need a longer cantilever. The detail on these is superb. I'll zoom the camera in just now so you can get a little bit more of an idea of what detail Chris has managed to put on these. Here you can see some of the fine 3D printed detail, small insulators fitted on the outside of the mast. It slots together with the support leg as well. It's all the correct brackets and even down to the small bolts holding it all together. And this fine lattice work here is superbly crisp with no signs of warping or flash or anything like that that you might get with, say, an injection molded kit. The detail continues on the cantilever arm. You can see all the bolt detail there along with the small insulator, and I'm happy to report that the arm along its length shows no warping or twisting. The registration arms are really easy to fit. Simple case of removing them from the 3D printed sprue, a wee bit of super glue and slide them into position, and it's a job done. It's so easy. The detail on the registration arms is amazing. It's got all the brackets, the bolt detail, the insulators. It really has gone to town on these, I have to say. I'm really impressed. You may notice on this particular one that there is a kind of square section at the top and the bottom here. That's for fitting super small magnets, which therefore allow you to connect wiring. Now, it's designed to fit the Pico wiring, but if you make your own overhead wiring, it would fit on there as well. And I'll show you that when I come to the Type 2. It really is an ingenious idea. Say you don't want to have wires and you're never going to fit the wires, West Hill also supply registration arms with just a normal end, so you've not got this little magnetic mounting point here. The bases on all of these overhead masts are magnetic, so you can remove them so easily if you want to do some maintenance. This is easy to do obviously if you've not fitted wires, but due to the magnetic system with the wiring, you can just remove the wires from the registration arm and take it out. It also makes it usable for travelling exhibition layouts. If you want to have overhead masts, you can just dismantle it at your house, take it into the exhibition hall, put the mast back in position and hook the wires onto the magnets. Chris is catering for all eventualities regarding the registration arms. You've got the right-handed arms, and you've also got packs of left-handed arms. You've also got extension for the monoboom portals if you wish to make it wider from the distance from mast to mast, so that's the option. And these come in, let's say, a pack of 2. Okay, here we have the Series 2 masts, and these are the cantilever masts that I've got on the test board here. Again, they're magnetically mounted, and you can also adjust the height of the base with these extensions as well. So you get the option to sit them a little bit higher, depending if your track has, say, a higher ballast shoulder. The registration arms here, you'll see that these are both the magnetic type, and I've actually fitted the magnets to these. They're so easy to fit. The registration arms themselves, I've got small kind of rectangular section there, and at each end small triangular pips, and they just fit on wherever you want and they clip neatly into position. There's further accessories you can add to these cantilever arms, including this conductor wire mount, and you just clip that on the underside, and if you want it permanently in position, obviously a little bit of super glue, and job done. Just clips into position like so. Fitting the wires is so easy if you've got the correct registration arm with the magnetic mounts. If you're not fitting wires, as I said earlier, you just get the arms without the magnetic mounting points on them. Using a Pico wire, you've got the bottom of the Pico wire there with the hook, and then the top part, you just position it where you want, the hook at the bottom, move the top wire into position, and job done. Obviously the wire would be supported at the next arm and it wouldn't sag, but that shows you how powerful the wires are and how simple it is to fit the Pico wire onto these registration arms. It really is an ingenious idea from Chris. You can really go to town with the added detail. As I mentioned, you can put conductor wire mounts, but you can also put post-mounted tensioners onto your masts as well. So Chris really has thought of everything here. As if all these new masts weren't enough in one release, we've got some additional detailing and line side equipment. First off, we've got some insulators, and these have got some small kind of groove along the side, so you can just slot it over existing wire. For example, say you want to make some head spans, I've got similar things that I used to get from Brass Locos, but he's since retired and wound the business up. So these will come in handy if you're doing some additional wires on your overhead equipment. We've also got some long welded rails, expansion joints. These are best fitted before you ballast because you have to remove some of the sleepers, but they're really detailed in this pack of 2. And you get that for code 100 and code 75 rail. We've also got some red bonds and anchors. Here you've got 4 connecting anchor boxes and 2 termination anchors. I'll have to do some research just to find out exactly where these go on the network and where about at the line side, but again, a nice little bit of added detail. Catch pits, this is the modern type with the blue grid top on it. We've got some APC magnets which fit onto the top of the sleepers there, and these could be fitted after ballasting, and you would just paint them up in a yellow colour. We've got some track impedance bond units. You have to remove the sleepers and feed the track through this, so again, once you've ballasted, it's going to be quite difficult to fit these, but a useful bit of equipment to add. You get these in code 100 and code 75 will be coming on stream as well. We've also got pantograph inspection equipment. This is something really new, I've never seen this before, for fitting at the line side. Remove them from the 3D printed sprue, assemble them, a quick paint up, and you can place them at the line side. And finally, we've got some coasting signs for raising and lowering the pantograph line side detail, and it's got self-adhesive stickers to fit on the actual rectangular square panel there, with the masts to fit on them as well. So they go at the line side to instruct the driver what position to have the pantograph. So as you can see from this just initial release of overhead equipment from West Hill, we've got quite a selection already, and more to come as the Mark III mast system comes on stream later on, and that's the one that will interest me for the East Coast Main Line in the period that I am modelling. So there you have it, the initial releases of the West Hill Wagon Works overhead line equipment. The first of many kits to come, I have to say, and I'm really excited for the future with regard to this system. If you want to find out more, the website link is in the description below, and it will show you more of what's on offer and what masts go with which registration arms and so on and so forth, and you really can build up a pretty realistic system. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Any comments, questions or queries, please post those in the comment section below. But in the meantime, stay safe, enjoy your modelling, and cheers for now.